What is up, RC enthusiasts? We have another LDRC in the house. I first got the first two AE86s. I wasn't that impressed, so I really didn't pursue this that much further, even though I did want to really get into rear-wheel drive drifting because I've done the four-wheel drive power sliding stuff back in the day, and now this rear-wheel drive drifting is pretty cool. So today, LDRC brings you a new release. It's the LDRC 1804, which is also the cute little Mazda Miata. So as you can see right here, the box looks similar, right? They have all the same cars featured on here like they did before. They just look like they added the Miata to it right there. But this box is actually a lot taller than the original one, so it's a little bit bigger. They just added the Mazda Miata, the MX5, right over here. I don't know what they call this car in your country, but in my country that's called the Mazda Miata or the MX5. So this is their newer version right here, and this is still going to be a plastic model like these ones. It's not going to be die-cast metal like these two right here are metal. And that's going to be plastic like all these guys right here, but it's going to have the electronics from these guys. So let's go ahead and let's get into this. So here we go out the box. We have our user manual. Looks like one in Chinese and one in English. Then we have this new transmitter. Man, in the pictures it always shows that these chrome pieces are black, and I really wish they were because I'm not into chrome, but I guess if you are, it's not bad, So the transmitter is going to be the same as the LDRC 1899, which are the two Skylines back there. Same transmitter as them, so you're going to have your throttle rate right here. The A is going to be higher speed, lower speed. B is going to be for your higher steering rate. C is going to be for your lights. You press it once, your headlights turn on, and if you have pop-up headlights, they pop up. And if you hold it down, your hazards come on. Then we have steering trim and gyro rate. So if you're drifting around and you're sliding too much and you can't actually hold a drift, you can turn this up more to help you out. And the better you get, the less of this you're going to use. This transmitter uses two AA's down here. And it's pretty simple, it still feels pretty cheap and lightweight and chintzy, but compared to these transmitters, I like this one a lot more. Now to get to the goods. Look at that, guys. With your pop-up headlights. I wonder how much lights this thing has on here, if it's just headlights and taillights or if it's just headlights. Check that out. They put more detail into the taillights of this. So they're getting pretty good at the detailing stuff. They're listening to people for sure that have been complaining about the taillight detail. Something as simple as this. It just looks too simple, but I actually like it. It looks like custom taillights, But this one looks a lot more scale. Look at that. Mine came a little scratched up. There's a little scuffs and scrapes on the roof. Not too bad. You can barely see it. You have to look really close. And the windows are actually see-through. You can see through those. They're not just like painted black or anything. And then down here, we have our accessories. It looks like you have your tongue, sticking out tongue that shows in the pictures of this one. You just install it up here. We have corner markers, yellow corner markers. You have your mirrors, and this one doesn't actually use like a mirror like the other ones did. If you look at this model and all the other models they have, those are actual mirrors on there. That is an actual piece of a mirror right there, a reflective piece of mirror. On this new one, it looks like they're going for a reflective sticker now. See, that's a sticker right there in the background, that big sheet of aluminum looking thing back there. That's the sticker sheet for the mirrors. So they did downgrade that a little bit, but those tend to get lost anyway, so I don't think it's a downgrade, especially if it just looks cool from afar anyway. You're not really going to be noticing it. I don't even put the mirrors on my GTRs because they'll break off if you hit something. I just put them on for display and take them off when I'm drifting. So let me get these accessories on there, and let's do a cool little montage. Check it out, guys. Look underneath. We're already gonna see a new difference right here. We have the full bottom has like a mud guard or underbody. So you can tell it blocks this section off. And all these other ones, you can tell there's nothing on the side to block anything, so you can see straight in there. So they definitely cleaned it up a little bit. Look how nice that looks. I hope we don't need to remove any of that, because sometimes on these models, when you turn too much for the drifting, these tires get stuck on the, underbody cladding, so you have to remove them. You can tell on this one it's removed. It used to have the mud guard at the front, it only has it in the back now. Same with my GTR. Just to be able to use the bigger tires. Now the GTR, if you're using the stock tires that come with it, it's pretty much these tires that come on the NSX right here. Then you don't need to remove those mud guards or underbody, whatever you call those. As you can tell, this one has the little tongue sticking out. That's just an accessory you can actually take off really easily. And now we have a cleaner looking ride. More scale. So let's go ahead and let's get under this guy, because there's a couple of differences that they're probably going to be under there that I want to show you guys. Chassis still looks the same underneath. And here's the chassis up top. We still have the same transmission, it looks like. Yep, still plastic geared servo. I mean, other than the upgraded plastics that all the newer ones have, this thing seems to be pretty the same. But I did notice a difference right here. Side by side with the RX-7, here's the RX-7 drive shaft. And there's a new drive shaft. So there's a difference there. I'm not sure if that's, you know, gonna mean anything or do anything, but with it tapering off like that towards the end, it'll definitely give you more up and down travel without binding the drive shafts with that kind of style versus just the stick all the way through. But I don't think it's gonna be an issue for these rides. Another difference I want to point out is the tires. You can tell here the tires are a lot bigger on the RX-7, but I think these ones are closer to the other models. They all have the tires that are like this size. Yeah, it's much closer to those size tires. I think it's a little in between. It might be a little taller, just a tiny bit. Another difference on the tire you can tell, this is flat. It's just a flat plastic tire. The new one is a little bit more rounded profile on here. And one big difference I did notice is on this one, it's pretty much like it's glued on there, the tire. It's part of the rim now on this one. And on the new one, I can pull this off and I can separate the rim from the tire. So this might need to be glued, or, you know, maybe wrap around another wrapping of electric tape on here just to make a tighter fit, just in case these slip off. So if you're having that issue where this slips off, just go ahead and grab some electric tape for here, and that'll give you a more snug fit. Or you can glue it on if you want to make it permanent. I'm not sure if they sell spare tires. It'd be nice if they sell this right here as a spare, just this piece, because I bet you'd be pretty cheap. And then you can just slide them onto your kind of wheels. They do have other newer style wheels that are out, and I'm going to show those in a coming video, because those are coming in today, I believe, later on today. So in the next video, I'll probably show those tires. It's going to be these wheels that you can take apart from the tire. The motor seems to be the same 150 size motor still. Same as the RX-7 right here. Exact same motor. ESC receiver board is definitely like the ones that are in these GTRs right here. So the board that's inside this GTR and this GTR is the board that's on here now as well. That's why it uses the same transmitter. So this is gonna have a better gyro, and it's gonna drift better than the other plastic models. It's gonna drift more like the metal models, hopefully. So we're gonna try that out pretty soon here. Now let's look under the body. We have our servo for our pop-up headlights right there. 2 LEDs for the headlights. We have LED boards in the back for maybe tail lights, turn signals, and reverse lights for the rear. Well, here's the battery it comes with, 1200 milliamp hour it claims, but that's the same size as the original batteries. Look at these 500 milliamp hour batteries, and they're the same size. I don't know how they're squeezing in more than double the MAH into the same size battery. If you guys have seen my new video on the AE86, it comes with a 1200 milliamp too, but it's kind of printed like this. So it says 1200 on here instead of 500. But I charged them, and I was only getting 480, 470 milliamp hours after charging them, so they're still the same battery. So don't get fooled by this. And we have a built-in gyro. Let's get this tongue out of the way. I don't know if I'm going to use this ever. I mean, it would probably look pretty cool when you're drifting around people, you know, sticking your tongue out at them. And of course, last but not least, up and down headlights. Do this with the light off so you guys can see a better representation of the lights. Brakes. Reverse. Left and right, and hazard. The front's only headlights, but check that out. It actually emits a pretty good light, and it looks pretty scale with that warm light. Then press B, more and less steering, and then for A, the suspension is all free. There's nothing binding in there. Everything feels really good. So they're upping their game with the quality on these things. Let's see if this thing can drift around my little table. This is completely stock out the box. I didn't change anything. Alright, highest steering rate, low throttle because we're on a very slippery surface. I've never driven this before, so let me get used to it. Wow, these tires are way more slippery than the other tires. And these tires you see right here are a lot grippier. Those ones are really slippery. Then again, they're kind of rounded, you know, so there's very little contact patch. When you break them in, wear them out a little bit, they'll probably grip a little better. Thanks to the slipperiness of it though, it's definitely smooth. And you can drift really slow. I bet you'll drift a little better with my other tires on this surface. Good drifting. Now the one thing I'd like to point out about this ESC receiver combo that comes in this model and the GTRs, those two 1899 GTRs, they're really not that smooth. It's not that smooth when you have the gyro turned on. I've checked. The gyro is turned on right now when I'm just trying to scale around and drive around. Yeah, see, do you hear that? That's not me doing anything. That's just one throttle input point. And all that jittering it's doing on its own. But if you want to drive it around scale and, you know, don't want to have to deal with, look at that jittering, just turn the gyro knob all the way to 0 and check out how smooth it is now. This one has a little creakiness to it too, just like every single one I got out the box. They creak like this, make a little bit of a squeaky noise, but it goes away when they break in. Hear that? Whoa, this thing is very slippery. Maybe I'll install my other wheels. I have a video of this guy on the floor on a bigger course to show you guys that I could actually drift around and stuff once I get more used to driving it around just like the other ones. Because I've gotten so used to driving the other ones that they're actually pretty fun to drift. And these things are awesome fun. And this new edition right here, if you're a Miata guy, you're gonna want this guy. Alright guys, there you go on the little Mazda Miata right here by LDRC. Sweet little 1/18 scale little drift car. It's definitely a lot more upgraded than the other ones, and they're definitely upping their game with their quality. Alright guys, thanks for watching as usual, and as always, stay safe out there, go have fun, and run that RC.